Hey, Steve Zonander here with Treviso Realty. Just a real quick update on the market. It's a late one because of President's Day. Our current inventory in Southwest Florida, we're 27,125 units with 349 selling. And if you bring it into Estero, we're at 1,033 units with 25 selling. Obviously, inventory packed up about 1,000 last week, and that's quite normal with the Snowbird season, and everyone's trying to capitalize on the influx of people coming in. And we're starting to see that with the builders. They're playing games with the prices. They go up 1,000, they'll drop 20. They're trying to kind of see where the flavor is of the month and then kind of execute from there. Still pretty decent incentives with Lennar and Pulte. Lennar specifically on closing, it's a 4% incentive on closing. You got to use their mortgage company, but at the same time, there's a trick to that too, and we can explain to you how you can still get that incentive and then use your mortgage company. Another thing too is what we're seeing is what's currently listed on the market right now with new construction with the builders is not what you're going to pay for it. And we're looking at some clients that go direct, either they're coming from other states or in from Canada, and just going directly to the sales center and don't really negotiate for a living and are paying thousands of dollars more than they should be. I can give you some amazing examples with this where we save clients like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 off the top of these prices, and then normally they would have paid, let's say, $20,000 more, let's say, for the same product. And again, that extra $20,000 can pay for your furniture. So before you actually go out and buy new construction, give a third-party consultant like myself a call. We can go through it, how we would negotiate the deal for you, show you our value, especially with clients that are not in town. To be honest, like you want to have updates, even though the builders are starting to be a little bit more robust with updates. But again, we would send a full live video walkthrough, so we would pick up on all the upgrades that you've done, so we have like a full review. And what we found this is very useful in the future is that when we have to go back, especially near completion, if there's an issue, we can actually see the stud walls and kind of get an idea of where everything is, if there needs to be changes. So it's actually beneficial for our homeowners in the future to have these archived videos of their property in its skeleton form. That's pretty much it. And I just want to show you some graphs here with inventory. Inventory is extensive for sure, but it's quite normal for Florida. Obviously, COVID was irregular times. We're never going to hopefully never see that again. I'd rather lose value in properties than deal with something like that again, a global pandemic, right? So we look at months of inventory currently right now, and again, we're going to take it off. We're going to put into single family homes. Condos are going to be higher, but let's put single family homes. If you want to put towns in there too, that's fine. We'll put towns. Are they in there? Yeah, okay, so we'll put towns in there also. We'll put resale. We'll forget about new construction. We'll do a quick graph after. So this is Bonita and Estero. Kind of look at this. This is pre-pandemic, clearly, 2019. We have 8.8 months of inventory. Let's start from, this only goes a 10-year, it'll only go 10 years. So let's start in 2015. You start to see like nice low inventory, then it packs up to eight months, then it goes down to 6 months, like a year later, and then it packs up again to 8 months. 8 months is like the norm. And just remember, imagine how many more homes that got built out here in Southwest Florida in the last, let's say, 5 years, and how many more residents have moved in here. So it kind of counterbalances this. But you start to see like an 8 to 6 month amount of inventory is quite normal for this market. You kind of see the ebbs and flows. And then obviously this time here, we get this lockdown and everyone's like, screw it, we're moving to Florida. And then we get down to boom, 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 boom. Look at this, less than a month of inventory, less than a half a month of inventory. So imagine less than 15 days of inventory. This is where everything was going gangbusters. Then you start to see a pickup of inventory. We bought right here in July of 2022. So there was 2 months of inventory, starting to see them pack up. And now we're starting to get more of a balanced market. If you see in 24, we went up to 6.4, and now into January, we're at 8 months of inventory, which is quite normal based on the history here. The only thing you got to look at is also home values. This is very important because if you kind of look at, this goes back to 2012, so 13 years. This is just obviously after the financial collapse of the market. 2012, you're starting to see average sales price 227, a little bit of a spike up here to 340, 375, then down again, then up, then down, then up to 380, then down to 320. Like it's almost like a 15-20% drop every time. And then we get this little peak. This is actually a good market to be flipping in, to be honest, because if you get these peaks every 1 to 2 years, you'll be able to like buy low clearly and then sell high. This is actually good information for me. But you're starting to see these peaks and valleys all over the place. And then the highest we got was 2017, which was a hot market even up north. And then there was a drop off, like which we saw up north the same way. And then you fast forward into obviously crazy times where you start to see value lower the inventory, higher the prices. That's just supply and demand, economics 101. So then you start to see this rise of average sales price. So we're at 552. We bought 2 houses in 22. So we bought in let's say Jan, Feb. So 626 was the average sale price. And we bought in July our house in Verdana. So 679 was the average price when we bought. And this is a kind of look at. So the height of 22 was 722. Then we had a drop off. And then again, some heavy sales must have came into play, and which brought the value back up to 770, average sales price. And then we got last year actually was the highest sales value in all of Estero's history at 820,000. Now we're dropped back down to 707. But I mean, let's look at pre-pandemic. If we're here at 400K, look at the value we're up right now. If we can kind of hold this, it's almost $300,000 more, which is almost 100% increase in value. Let's just call that. So you doubled doubled your value 2 to 1. It'd be nice to kind of hold this here, even if we dip down to maybe low 600s at the lowest point and kind of hold at this new rate. And this will be a whole new Southwest Florida way of living, to be honest, where values are going to be at that 600 to 700K mark. But that's pretty much it. This is what we're looking at. Clearly, we have properties that we have listed that we need to sell. We know we're trying to explain to clients it's not. Especially from up north, it moves a lot quicker, especially if it's across the border. That's usually a real quick market, slowing down now clearly, but even if in other states like Chicago, New York, the Midwest, usually a little bit quicker, like 60 to 120 days, let's just call that. And then we're here out in Southwest Florida, you're looking at between 6 and 12 months to sell a property. And when we're advising clients now, like we're not taking every listing, to be honest. It doesn't make sense to us. We're not going to hold inventory that we can't sell, especially if they're unrealistic with pricing. What we're doing is and this is what we're advising clients right now. We're not going to take overpriced listings. Doesn't make sense to collect inventory, and we have no hope on selling them. So what we're doing now is obviously, if you got a property on the market currently, you want to look at your competition. You want to price at least 5% below those other properties. At least you're going to get action on the property and potentially an offer. Because if you're going to look at baseline prices, even from 2024, you're not going to get that value. You're going to have to adjust prices to 2025. Again, we refuse, I think, 3 or 4 listings. And again, it's just being sincere and being genuine, being honest. It's like we can't get you the value. Maybe you want to hold it. Maybe you want to rent the property in the meantime and then wait for the values to come up. But I'm not going to sell you a dream where you think we're going to sell your property for X dollars. And I know deeply in my mind there's no hope to get at that price. This is why we're just being upfront with clients. If they don't need to sell, then hold on to it, lease it out, and then ultimately wait for the market to pop back up and then sell it at that point. Or if you have enough equity in the property and you're up $100,000, $200,000 on it, and if you want to just cut it down to about $50,000, like and take $50,000 less than you thought you would make, and you would sell the property, you can move your profits out, then do that. But that's pretty much it, guys. Have a great day.